Katherine's and Rita's houses thanks you for your generosity.
Marshall. I'm the program supervisor at Rita's house and Katherine's house, and I'd like to give you a tour of Rita's house.
Awesome.
So Rita's house has 6 rooms, and this is our living room. So we don't do a whole lot in here, but this is where the ladies sign in and out before they leave, and our calendars and schedules are here so they always know where we are, and we know where they are. Here is a computer, a community computer that everybody can use. We do a lot of job searching, applications for housing and schooling and things like that on here. This was donated to us.
I take it you have them do a lot of that work, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. I give them the resource and then I have them do it. Do you want to go back?
Yeah.
Okay. So back here are the staff offices. We have 2 life skill coordinators that work with us, and this is their office up here. Back here is my office. So here we do a lot of one-on-ones, check-ins, just kind of weekly meetings. This is where all that takes place, so it's private and confidential. And we go back through here. This is our program manager's office back here. Our laundry room, and then our community kitchen. So every client has their own shelves for food, their own. We have 2 refrigerators, so they share 2 refrigerators. The house comes with everything that they need to cook, so they don't have to bring anything. Let's see. And then we have just our regular living room. This is where we do our house meeting every week. A lot of our parties go on in here, like for holidays, things like that. The girls spend a lot of time in here. Very minimal cable, because we don't want them watching TV all day, so.
I think it would be great to have one of our youth Christmas parties here. Remember the gift exchange?
Yeah.
Up here at this house.
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever done that.
No,
Up
it's
here,
always
I
at
think.
Katherine's house.
Yeah. So, okay. And then we do have pictures along the way of like some of our past alumni and events that we did. We're trying to start kind of putting more of that out so that we have memory of that and all the girls that have been successful. And then we have a total of 3 rooms down here. Here's one of the rooms that's ready to go for the next client that comes in. And then these 2 rooms would share this 1 bathroom. And they're in charge of cleaning the rooms, the bathrooms in the house, and all of the yard work. And we just have this replaced.
The ramp?
Yeah, all this is gonna be grass. We don't have any animals here right now, but when we do, they're in charge of cleaning up after their animals. And then our garden is here. Does it pick up?
What is she doing?
Yeah. Carrots. Kale maybe, huh?
Cucumbers over there.
Yeah. Some herbs.
So they were successful.
Yeah. Yeah, the other house too.
Yeah,
They did good this year.
Welcome to Katherine's house. So come on in. Welcome to Katherine's house. Right here we have our 2 offices for staff. If you come on in this way. This is our family room, living room. This is where all the fun happens. We'll have our house meetings in here. We have a bowling pin from the bowling event that we had recently. So this is where all the fun happens. And if we keep walking down this way, this is our kitchen area. And they cook their own meals. A lot of times they cook for each other. And they each have their, they have a couple of refrigerators, a couple of pantry areas. While we're here, let's go check out the garden. We have laundry. This is where we keep track of like chores, inside chores and outside chores, so that things get taken care of. Outside, we've got this great space. And the ladies do a garden every year. So I think we've had some carrots going on and some cucumbers, and they always, every year with the garden, it's funny to me because every year they say, I don't want to do a garden, I don't want to grow a garden, I don't get my fingers dirty. And by the end of the year, even this morning, the gal came in and she said, oh my gosh, I have carrots and I have bell peppers. And so she was very excited to tell me about that. So they love their garden at the end. So we can go upstairs. We have 1 bedroom downstairs and a bathroom downstairs. That's for a woman who might have some needs. It's for an ADA room, so in case she's using a walker or a wheelchair or otherwise needs that kind of assistance. She has her own bathroom and her own bedroom right there. And then if we go upstairs, we have 5 bedrooms upstairs. So the bedrooms are on this side, and let's take a little peek. There's our lovely little dog Duke. He's waiting for his mama to come home from work. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's yeah. Like I said, I've had to step away when she was so yeah. So Gretchen. But we have bedrooms on one side. And then we have bathrooms on the other side. So, and then at the end of the hall, it's kind of, we call it our serenity room. This room changes personality more than anything I know. It just really depends upon the women who are in the house. So right now we have a lot of exercise equipment. And they also have a computer. And yeah, but this space just changes all the time.
How many bathrooms up here?
Up here, so, and they're kind of hodgepodge. So like one will be like a toilet and one's, so there's 4. Yeah. So this one's getting ready for a resident. We have 2 coming in on Wednesday. Yeah, we have 2. So this room is all ready for a new resident who will be coming in 2 days. So, and that's it. So that's the thing that's so great is that they don't have to worry about furniture, and they also have that welcome bag from the guild. So because when they come in to us, they typically have things in bags, and it usually needs to be washed. And so for them to come in and they have a clean bed, it's already ready for them. We always give them a set of towels and some hygiene things that we have available. The guild usually shows up the next day with their welcome bag, and that gives them even more towels, more hygiene, a gift card to go to Target, and other things, even like, you know, a journal and things like that. So it's huge because now they have like literally their own space.
Thank you to Icon Materials for sponsoring this year's Toast for Recovery breakfast. And thank you to the rest of our sponsors who continue to enable Catholic Community Services and Katherine and Rita's houses to contribute to the recovery of these women. Consider donating by navigating to Catholic Community Services website at ccsww.org/TFRbreakfast and clicking the red Donate button. You can make a one-time donation or give monthly. $5,000 covers the costs of both houses for a week, enabling 12 women to be supported in their recovery. Catholic Community Services and Katherine's and Rita's houses thanks you for your generosity. Welcome to the 2020 Toast for Recovery Breakfast. To start things off, Bill Hellerman has a few words to share about this incredible program.
Well, good morning. My name is Bill Hallerman, and I'm the Agency Director for Catholic Community Services, and I'm here to welcome you to our virtual Toast for Recovery breakfast for Katherine's house and Rita's house, our two recovery houses in South King County that help women who are struggling with addiction and recovery. It's wonderful to have you all here. Of course, this year we're doing it virtually because of COVID, which is a new experience for us. But we're really, really thankful that you're here to watch this and to hopefully participate in supporting the houses. It has been a very difficult year for the folks that come to the houses as they've had to maintain their recovery at Katherine's and Rita's, even through COVID, which has been a really difficult task. Our staff, our volunteers have all done an incredible job in supporting the women at Katherine's and Rita's, and so we're here today really to ask you to continue that support that you folks have provided for many years for us, and that has been really crucial in the women being able to live their recovery out at Katherine's and Rita's. So we're just so thankful for all of you for the support that you've brought to houses for so many years. And we'd ask you, of course, to please to check out the website and the Facebook page on Katherine's and Rita's house to see how you can be more involved, how you can support the houses in this difficult time. It really has been a year like none other for us, but it's been amazing to us also, the strength of the women and the strength of our staff in working with those women and all of you. So just very thankful to all of you, really excited to welcome you to our breakfast, and we'll get moving throughout the rest of the next hour with our program. So thanks so much.
Thank you to Icon Materials for sponsoring this year's Toast for Recovery breakfast. And thank you to the rest of our sponsors who continue to enable Catholic Community Services in Katherine and Rita's houses to contribute to the recovery of these women.
Now I'd like to introduce Jo Cherlin, who is our program director of the houses of Katherine's and Rita's, and she's going to share a little bit about the work that the houses do.
So Katherine's and Rita's house are these beautiful recovery-based homes for 6 homeless women in recovery. So the women entering need to be homeless, in recovery, with 30 days clean. And the women come to us from their cars, from living outside, from an inpatient treatment facility, or from drug court and mental health court, which is with King County. So the women enter, they receive a furnished bedroom, but they have to share every other space of the house. So they have to share the bathrooms, living room, kitchen. So they have to be able to live in community. And we like to build community. So we will do things with them like go out to movies, have a movie night inside, go out for ice cream, but then the work begins. So women who enter, they need to be involved in outpatient drug treatment. They have to attend 3 meetings a week of either NA or AA, which is Narcotics Anonymous or Alcoholics Anonymous. They have to meet with the case manager at least once a week. So when they meet with the case manager, they begin to establish goals, and those goals typically look like education or employment. They're either going to further their education or they're going to become employed. The women that we have here are working full-time. We've had ladies get their driver's license. We've had 3 ladies buy vehicles. We have them saving for their future. So they are doing well. They have to attend our house meeting, which is also once a week. In the house meetings, we'll go over how they're going, how things are going for them in their life, what they're working on. It also focuses on the structure of our house, which includes a curfew. You have to be able to live with a curfew. You have to be able to take care of the house. So the inside and the outside of the house is totally taken care of and divided by each of the women who live in the house at the time. But they also address things like debt and health, which has been probably ignored throughout their addiction. And they also work on relationships, because relationships at this point have been fractured, especially relationships with their children. Speaking of children, children get to come here and visit. They also get to spend the night with their mom. And all of that is about rebuilding those relationships with their mom. And I want to circle back to the whole idea of community. A lot of memories and community and positive relationships are built here. We have this great group that comes alongside us called the Women Encouraging Hope Guild, and they not only help women when they move in by giving them a welcome basket that has toiletry items, towels, pajamas, and a gift card, but they also help them when they move out. So when they move out, they will pay for their first month's rent, or they will buy them a mattress. Giving them this gift as they move out is very precious. So you take all that and then you add a pandemic. So I wanted to speak a little bit about that. The pandemic has, I'll be very transparent, has shaken our houses. A house that thrives on engagement and one-on-one face-to-face time for their health is now on lockdown. Their outpatient treatment in person stopped. Their NAAA meetings stopped. We could not allow children to come over. We could not allow their children to spend the night. We couldn't allow visitors. The women were struggling. And our small staff of 4 people have been together for at least 7 years. So we remain a constant in an inconsistent and uncertain time. Typically we have 80% of our women will leave here and go into permanent housing and keep that permanent housing and keep their sobriety for at least a year. Because when you've lived here for 2 years, it's your home. In the end, our goal for them is to be stably housed when they leave here at 2 years, for their income to be increased, for their relationships to be healthier and in a better place, for their debt to be down, for their health to be better. We wish for all those things. So my hope is that by getting a picture of our houses, that you will consider donating to our houses to support us. And thank you for your time.
Consider donating by navigating to Catholic Community Services website at ccsww.org/TFRbreakfast and clicking the red donate button. You can make a one-time donation or give monthly. $5,000 covers the costs of both houses for a week, enabling 12 women to be supported in their recovery. Catholic Community Services and Katherine's and Rita's houses thanks you for your generosity.
Right now I'd like to introduce Ellen to you, who's going to share her story and her journey with you. She has been with us for 1.5 years, and I don't want to share too much because she'll be sharing that, but she is one who has, like I said, gotten her license, purchased a vehicle, and she's working full-time, and she has reconnected with her daughter. So please welcome Ellen.
My name's Ellen. I've been living in this house for, I've been living in this house for 1 year and 9 months. I grew up in an unstable environment. From kindergarten to 12th grade, I went to 11 different schools, always moving, different states, different schools. And it was about the time I was 11 that I started using alcohol and smoking weed. And by 14 or 15 is when I did heroin the first time. That was shortly after my dad passed away. My mom was drinking really heavily at that time. She was never home. I was always left alone to be able to pretty much do whatever I want. Like 1, 2, 3 nights would go by, and I guess you could say I just felt really alone, and I didn't have the support that was needed. I wasn't keeping up on my schoolwork. I wasn't going to school. And so at one point I just completely stopped. I think I was about 16 when I stopped going to school. By 19, I was pregnant, pretty much, to say the least, I was unfit to be a mother. I had my daughter, and she went straight to the state. Probably I think she was 12 days old when she went into foster care. I started going to jail, and in between there, I went to treatment a couple of times. One of the last times I went to jail, I was looking at 30 months in prison, and they offered me drug court. So with drug court, I had to do an in-jail treatment program called TRP, and I got out and I ended up relapsing. And that was a process. They would put me back in jail for a month. I'd get out, I'd relapse back to jail, and they'd put me in housing in my own apartment. And just every place I went, I didn't have stability. I still felt alone. The very last time I went to jail and I went to treatment, I came to K House, and when I got out of treatment. And when I first walked into this house, immediately I felt the support. I felt a connection with the house manager, Gretchen, and Chelsea, and my roommates, and I felt comfortable. And it was really hard for me to break the shell. I had this hard shell around me. I'd isolate in my room the first couple weeks. I wouldn't come out of my room. I was just, I was shy, and I was broken, and it came to the point where my roommates would come to my room let's go to a movie, let's hang out, and I got really close with them. And so I didn't know if I was capable of being clean. I had never been clean. I took baby steps. I was very scared to commit to anything. I completed outpatient. I went back to school for my GED. I started therapy. I got a sponsor. I engaged with the women in the program and with the women in this house. And for the first time in my life, I realized that I never wanted to get loaded again. And I liked the way that I was living and the way that things were going for me. I graduated drug court in November 2019, which was probably one of the hardest things I ever did because drug court is very intense. But with the help of this house, I was able to complete that. And I'm not a felon now. I spend more time with my daughter. I went back to work. The first job that I went back to was the longest job I've ever held, and probably the first job that I've had for more than a week in my entire life. I started saving money. I started setting realistic goals for myself, determined to get a better job, determined to get my license, determined to just, complete these goals that this house is here to help me achieve. So within the past 6 months, I got a car, I fixed my credit, I focused on my mental health. I was given the opportunity to apply at Catholic Community Services to be an advocate at a women's shelter. And when I got that job, I fell in love with it, and I was so grateful. I started in April. I started studying for my driver's license. I was working 2 jobs. Some weeks I would work 14 to 21 days in a row. Yeah, I get to see my daughter whenever I want to. I go see her every weekend, every other weekend. She's 5 now, and she'll look at me and she'll say, "You're my best friend, Ellen. I hope you know you're my tummy mommy." And every time it brings tears to my eyes. It's so amazing, the blessings that I have in my life. A couple months ago, I got a promotion at work, and I am now the operations assistant at the Bunny Wilburn home on the management team at the new shelter. I did this all in the last year and a half, and walking into this house, I didn't even think that I was capable of making it this far. I think back to that time, and coming here, my goal was to finish drug court and get out and go back to the way I was living, and that thought doesn't even cross my mind. Every time I sit down with Gretchen and we go over my goals, it's I knocked them out, and it's so amazing to be able to cross those goals off my list. So by the next time I went over them, I'd have them all completed, and it just made me want to make more and more goals. And now it's almost February, and it's almost time to move out, and it's crazy that 2 years went by so fast, and all the things that I've accomplished. It's such a blessing, and I'm very, very grateful for this program.
Thank you to Icon Materials for sponsoring this year's Toast for Recovery breakfast. And thank you to the rest of our sponsors who continue to enable Catholic Community Services and Katherine and Rita's houses to contribute to the recovery of these women.
Hello, my name is Denny Pierre, and I'm a member of the Connections Advisory Board serving Katherine's house and Rita's house. I want to give you a little bit of a message today about why we are doing what we're doing. Addiction and alcoholism bring pain and brokenness to our lives. Recovery is difficult, it's messy, and all too often it's overwhelming. But at Katherine's house and Rita's houses, we are making recovery a reality every day. Today you have the opportunity to partner with us to give these women a better future, to restore their lives by bringing hope and healing through housing and support services for single women in recovery. The programs of Katherine's and Rita's houses empower women to overcome the brokenness of their lives and bring them to transformation. This is what we do, and this is the impact that we have. We cannot do this without you. We cannot do this without God. Your support here today is not merely a sign of God's love, it is God's love. Please take a few moments to reflect on what you've heard and consider the donation that you're able to make. On behalf of all of us who deliver this ministry of healing, hope, and transformation, we are grateful for your compassion and generosity. Thank you, and God bless.
Consider donating by navigating to Catholic Community Services website at ccsww.org/TFRbreakfast and clicking the red Donate button. You can make a one-time donation or give monthly. $5,000 covers the costs of both houses for a week, enabling 12 women to be supported in their recovery. Catholic Community Services and Katherine's and Rita's houses thanks you for your generosity. And now we would like to announce the winners of the Jack Witte Spirit of Caring Award. The Jack Witte Spirit of Caring Award has been a tradition of Catholic Community Services for several years. The Spirit of Caring Award is given annually to celebrate the contribution of those businesses, government agencies, and individuals who best exemplify Jack Witte's caring and generous spirit. The Jack Witte Spirit of Caring Award is named in honor of the late Jack Witte, who contributed greatly to Catholic Community Services through his and his family's volunteer work. The honoree in the business category is AAA Pest Control, being received by Chris Blaker. AAA Pest Control has been in business for 25 years. AAA Pest Control provides professional pest control services to homes and businesses throughout the Puget Sound. AAA Pest Control and Chris have contributed greatly to the smooth operation of Katherine's and Rita's houses.
It's my honor today as a board member of the South King County Catholic Community Services Connections Board to honor a really good business partner of ours here in Kent. It is Chris Blaker with AAA Pest. Chris and his company are receiving our Jack Witte Spirit of Caring Award. This award every year is handed out to businesses, individuals, and government agencies that exemplify good community. They're very active and involved in what we do to resurrect and transform women from addiction and homelessness into being just regular good citizens. So Chris, on behalf of Catholic Community Services, we want to thank you for your partnership, for what you do for our homes, all on behalf of our Connections Board.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, my personal connection with this type of a organization is I have a sibling that is alive and very well today because of a program like this, and that's my direct connection, and it's invaluable service. I deal with a lot of customers, a lot of people, and it really truly seems like there's nobody that doesn't have a fairly close connection with somebody with dependency issues or just struggling. So I really feel that these types of organizations are very critical.
Well, we can't tell you how much we appreciate it. Little elbow there.
A little bit. There we go.
The honoree in the government agency category is Colleen Brandt Schluter with the City of Burien and Jenny Parch with Highline UMC. Colleen manages the operations and activities of human services within the City of Burien. For nearly 25 years, she has served as an advocate, funder, partner, and program developer, building relationships with communities, governments, nonprofits, and thought leaders dedicated to creating conditions where all people thrive. Colleen is grateful to be working closely with Catholic Community Services to address housing, homeless response, and anti-displacement. As a church staff person and later a pastor, Jenny has worked with unsheltered folks through tent encampments and temporary church shelters for 18 years. Jenny came to Highline UMC in Burien in 2016 and was surprised to find the City of Burien did not have more than one 9-bed shelter for women. Responding to the 2019 snowstorm, Jenny worked with Ben Fader and Reverend Lena Thompson of Lake Burien Presbyterian Church to stand up an emergency shelter for 13 days. Working with the local community, Jenny and her team have sponsored workshops and a book study to educate the public about mental health, services, housing, and more.
Hello, I'm Dan Wise, and on behalf of Catholic Community Services, I'm here today with Joe and Wanakee to honor the good work of Jenny from Highline United Methodist and Colleen with the City of Burien. During the early days of the COVID pandemic, Jenny and Colleen worked together in partnership to help us have women who were struggling on the streets to remain healthy during the pandemic stay indoors in a 24-hour shelter hosted by Highline United Methodist Church and in partnership with good support from the City of Burien. We're grateful for keeping those women healthy until they were able to relocate to a permanent shelter and get their needs and health care met. Joe's going to present the award to Jenny.
Thank you so much.
Do you have anything to share?
It's been a great partnership with CCS and the city and our community, and so I thank you for this. I'm humbly receiving this on behalf of a ton of people that stand behind me and other people in this community, so thank you.
And Wanakee is going to present it to Colleen from the City of Burien, who really went out of its way to break down barriers to allow us to do this.
Thank you so much. We can't do any of this work without our partners, Catholic Community Services, Highline United Methodist Church, and the many community members. It's really who stands with us in trying to meet the needs of our Burien residents and our communities. So we're just really grateful. Thank you.
The honoree in the individual category is Jody Rao. Jody is a public health nurse with over 16 years' experience. She has worked extensively with diverse populations, including people struggling with homelessness, chronic medical or mental health diagnosis, and people with limited access to the healthcare system. Jody currently works for Public Health's Healthcare for the Homeless Network in collaboration with 10 community-based partners to provide healthcare services to people experiencing homelessness in King County.
It's an honor. My name is Jim Tanas to be here to present one of our annual awards, the Jack Witte Spirit of Caring Award, to a recipient. Her name is Jody Rao. She is with the Healthcare Homeless Network, part of King County government. She works with homeless people, but this year our agency in our housing program, Joe Cherlin, and staff have elected her as the individual to receive this award on behalf of the agency. Again, we can't thank those folks that are nominated and elected enough for the kind of work that they do to make our community, especially these transitional housing programs, a success. So Jody, on behalf of the agency and a board member, as a Connections member, I want to thank you for the work that you do in the community.
Thank you so much. It's very much, it's very appreciated, and I'm quite honored to receive it. I feel really lucky to work with the teams that I work with, both with Healthcare for the Homeless Network, but also just in our larger public health department, our COVID homelessness response section, and then just the wider homeless service community and many of the really incredible folks here at Catholic Community Services and the programs. I think crew it specifically is one of the folks that we actually contract with and work really closely with, and there's a bunch of the leadership actually team between the Catholic Community Services housing and the homeless response side of the organization, and I'm just quite humbled and grateful to continue to work with all these amazing folks and teams. I learn every day, and I'm able to show up better and be better in the service of all the folks we're trying to help. So I accept it on behalf of that whole community that's doing this work. So thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much for your hard work, as they say, the elbow.
There you go.
Thank you.
Congratulations to our winners, Chris, Colleen, Jenny, and Jody. You exemplify the spirit of caring, and we thank you for your contributions to this important cause. Consider donating by navigating to Catholic Community Services website at ccsww.org/TFRbreakfast and clicking the red donate button. You can make a one-time donation or give monthly. $5,000 covers the costs of both houses for a week, enabling 12 women to be supported in their recovery. Catholic Community Services and Katherine's and Rita's houses thanks you for your generosity. From everyone at Catholic Community Services and Katherine and Rita's houses, we would like to sincerely thank you for joining us this morning for the annual Toast for Recovery breakfast. We would like to once again thank all of our sponsors, and especially Icon Materials for sponsoring this year's Toast for Recovery breakfast. If you've chosen to donate, know that even the smallest contribution has an incredible impact, and we can't express our gratitude enough.